nearly 2 years, there was no major incident in the American colonies in terms of protest or anything against how they feel they've been treated by England until, that is, in the year 1772 on June the 9th. And what happened here is a ship called the Gaspee had run ashore, hit a sandbar, and was waiting until high tide to be able to move forward. During that time, some Rhode Island individuals took it upon themselves to basically attack this English ship, and the captain of the ship was injured, and it became a major incident. And this preempted some retaliation by England. What transpires is on June 13th, there's an announcement that the governors and the judges of the courts will be paid by the king. And what this means is that basically the king will be paying those who will be judging perhaps criminals in the American colonies. This is a direct violation, of course, to their right. Their right to a trial by jury is thus sort of being trampled upon. Later on, in retaliation to this kind of behavior, in November, the American colonists are going to create what is called a Committee of Correspondence. Basically, this is going to be a way of communicating from colony to colony, and it will be the Sons of Liberty that are going to be primarily in charge of this kind of thing. And this is an attempt to unite the American colony. The object of uniting the American colonies is an effort to make collective action. As seen here, the object of this will then be to perhaps boycott items, make their presence known financially in England, that they can actually hurt the entire economy of Great Britain. And so this will be part of their attempt to do this. December 16th, 1773 is when probably the most famous of these taxes comes down by Lord North. And this is going to be a tax on tea. Now the thing that makes this tea tax a little different than previous ones is this is going to be a tax on all tea except tea from the East India Company. Ultimately, what this will do is it will create almost a tea monopoly for the East India Tea Company. The king is a partial owner in this tea company, and by doing this, people will be inclined, they think, the English, to buy English tea, thus not buying colonial tea. This will be very upsetting to the Sons of Liberty and the wealthy owners. This is obviously unfair business practice. The most famous event to come down as a result of this tax is, of course, the Boston Tea Party, as it's been nicknamed. This was done by the Sons of Liberty, as seen here and highlighted, and the Sons of Liberty are going to use this Tea Party as a last gasping effort to show that they want equality. And basically what's happened here is this is going to be a protest that is, as seen over here on the left, well organized. The intent is that it be nonviolent. Only tea should be destroyed. They will actually end up cleaning up the vessels. They did disguise themselves as Native Americans, but it was obvious that they weren't. This was just a way of hiding their identity. And it was a Sons of Liberty act. The destruction of English tea leads to drastic action in Boston. The drastic action is going to come by way of what the colonists have nicknamed the Intolerable Acts, but ultimately they are known on the books as the Coercive Laws or Acts. Now these consist basically of three things. We have the Boston Port Bill, the Massachusetts Government Bill, and the Quartering Act. And all of these are defined here. Probably one of the more upsetting of them all was this Quartering Act, which ultimately gave tremendous power to the soldiers. A writ of assistance is like a warrant to enter any home, search it, and seize it. The bottom line, what these soldiers are after. The soldiers are after evidence of who is in the Sons of Liberty, the secret organization. And they're trying to search homes to figure out who this is. And so we have the Quartering Act, which was very upsetting, allowing people just to enter your homes. Coupled with this too also, though, is this Quebec Act. And the Quebec Act was a way of sort of shutting down the roads, people traveling perhaps towards Quebec. It also opened up the area to Catholicism in the Ohio Valley, which was upsetting to colonists as well. Ultimately, these events are sort of the tipping of the incidences here that really are going to get people very, very upset. And the Committee of Correspondence will then communicate with the other counties, hey, if this happens in Boston, it can happen anywhere. This, everyone, gets us to the point of everything you'll need to know for the quiz on Unit 2. Good luck, and I hope these have been helpful.